Welcome, guys, to Three Bold Takes. I'm Quinn, joined with Freddie and Chase, and I know I'm alive. I've been gone. I've got settled into the new place, and I am ready to be back talking college football with the guys. But before we do, I want to remind you we are sponsored by SeatGeek. Use our code Three Bold Tags, get $20 off your first purchase with SeatGeek. I love them. Use them for every event I go to. Cannot ask for a better app to get your tickets for any event, not just sports. But now, that being said, guys, it's time to get into my overreaction for week 9 of the college football season. I got on here in the preseason and I said, I hyped Colorado up way too much last year. I was hyping them up to be a 7-win team, make a bowl game, first year under Dion. And I told you that a successful year for Colorado would be to get 4 or 5 wins. I thought their schedule was harder in 2024 than it was in 2023. I even said if they got 3, it would be improvement. Guys, they're 6-2.
They are.
We're only 8 games deep into 2024, and the Colorado Buffaloes are bowl eligible. I don't know if you saw the clip of him calling the 99-year-old super fan after they won that game, telling her they got a game ball for her and that they're going to mail it out to her since she couldn't make it to the game where they won bowl eligibility. I love it. I'm so happy for Dion and the guys. They're actually walking the walk this year that they've been talking, and it's super impressive. I think we're looking at, I think this Colorado team, I don't want to say they're going to get double-digit wins this year, but there's a chance. They need, 4 more W's in what's going to be 5 more games. It's not likely, but we're definitely looking at an 8-win football team in Colorado this year. No doubt in my mind. They're easily going to get 8. This is so far beyond a successful year. This is a great year. Now, can they follow it up next year when they lose Travis Hunter and Shadur Sanders? Probably not. But let's not talk about, we're talking about 2024. And this Colorado team is legit. Now, they're not going to the Big 12 title. I hate to bust anybody's bubble. Iowa State and BYU got to lose first. And I don't think that's going to happen. But what a successful year for Dion and the guys. And I just wanted to get on here and give them their flowers because this is so far beyond what I thought they had to do to actually get to a successful year. They're reaching like great, almost go home and write about it level success from where they were last year to where they are this year.
Yeah, I guess I could go next here. Yeah, dude, and I'll be honest with you, it's been fun to watch Colorado so far this year win. Right, like they're an exciting team to watch play, and that's one of the things that the problems I had last year was they're an exciting team to watch, but they just lost every single time that they were in a close game. A game that was in I guess technically late night for them, but the only game on, right? So you're getting that last little fix of college football before you go to bed. And they couldn't get it done. But if you look at this year, I do want to point out one thing. I think we thought their schedule was harder this year than it was last year because we thought certain teams were going to be better than they were. For instance, like UCF, they destroyed UCF. UCF preseason was a dark horse to win the Big 12 or make the championship game. They are nowhere near that at this point and probably won't be for the next couple of years. Arizona looks worse than we initially thought. Now, we knew that they were going to take a step back this year from last year, but we didn't know that they were going to be as bad as they actually are. Baylor, I think we kind of assumed that they would get a tad bit better than they were last year, but I haven't seen it. I think they've actually gotten worse this year than they have been the past couple of years. But I say all that to say you can't fault Colorado for that. I hate when teams play teams on their schedule and win, and it's like, well, they hadn't played anybody. That's not their fault. They're playing the teams that's on their schedule. They have no control over how good UCF is or Baylor is or Arizona is. They just go out and play the games. And when I look at their remaining 4 games, listen, dude, Utah's not any good. Like that's been the biggest disappointment in all of college football to me is Utah. But Texas Tech is not great. Kansas sucks. And Oklahoma State is in a downward spiral. There is a legitimate chance, and they also get Utah and Oklahoma State at home which would be their two toughest games to me because I think they're going to beat Kansas no problem and beat Texas Tech no problem. So you get them at home. There's a legitimate chance here that they could finish 10-2 with one conference loss, and we're talking playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
No,
we're
and
talking playoffs.
I actually don't disagree there because you look at the back end of the schedule, you have, I think all of them are bottom part of the Big 12, if I'm not mistaken. Oklahoma State's dead last in the Big 12. Utah's 1-4, and then Texas Tech is the only one that has two or more wins, I believe it is, if I'm looking correctly. Yeah, Kansas is 1-4. So like you're facing three of the bottom four teams in the back end of your schedule. Freddie, you're not off there. And I think the biggest thing last year to this year, and is what I said, was they're going to be in a lot of close games in 2023. They're brand new. Deion's brand new. They're probably going to lose a couple of these close games. I think they had like 7 games that were a touchdown or less last season. I might be wrong on that, but I think that's what it was. And they lost a couple of those, which made them end up, I think, like 6-7, whatever they ended last year. But now they've matured a year, they've grown a year, they've kind of put some of that crap to the side that they did, and they're able to win some of these closer games, pulling it out against Cincinnati, pulling it out against North Dakota State, game 1. You lose to Nebraska, and you lose to Kansas State, who's above you in the rankings in the Big 12. This is a good ball team, a really good ball team. Again, like Quinn said, what about next year? This is not next year. We're going to focus on here right now. And the thing I saw on Twitter, I saw somebody tweet it out. It might have been like George Schwartz or something. But he said, for so long, Colorado, people don't want to give them their flowers because they were trying to hype them up when they weren't a good team. This is the time to give them their flowers. This is a good ball team. They are worthy of a top 4 seeding in the Big 12 right now. And if they continue to play, like, yeah, I don't think any of these people are going to be ranked when they play them at all. I don't think Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, or Oklahoma State will be ranked, but that has a chance to push them into the top 15 and potentially make a playoff win playoff bid if they can round out with 4 wins. I think if you lose one of these games, that you don't make the playoffs. But Colorado, this is a great ball team. Shedeur Sanders is playing very well. Has not had a lot of Heisman talk. I think he's played extremely well against the schedule. Travis Hunter is doing exactly what Travis Hunter has been doing, and I think he's even done it to a better standard this year than he did last year, playing both sides of the ball. And I think they even lost weapons compared to last year to this year, and they're still playing above their means. So Colorado is a wonderful football team, and yes, like Quinn said, they're daisies, tulips, roses, whatever. Give them their flowers because this is a great ball team in 2024.
And I think real quick, Quinn, and then I'll let I'll let you round it out. That's why I was so mad about Colorado last year, because they got up to be ranked 14th in the country through the first 2 games, and they beat a TCU team that had played in the national championship the year before. But we knew that team was not going to be good the next year. And after 2 games, they were ranked 15th in the country, and now here they are 6-2, and they're ranked 23rd. Like, this is how you rank a team, right? They were not very good last year. Watch them win and progress, and then you throw them in the rankings. You don't just skyrocket them just to put them in the rankings.
Hey, I'll say this right before we wrap up. My one issue with saying that this might be a playoff team is you look at the field, you got 4 spots locked up to conference champions, then you got the next 8. One's locked up by Notre Dame as long as they don't lose another game, and one of those is locked up by your own conference opponent, because Kansas State's ahead of you. So is Iowa State, so is BYU. And with SMU, Pitt, and Clemson all being good, there's probably going to be another from the ACC. And the strength of schedule is what's going to hurt them, because you're going to get a lot of SEC and Big Ten teams thrown in the back end. That's my only issue with saying they're going to be a playoff team, is I think they're just too far out of the punching zone. But that being said, guys, it's been great to be back. 3 bold takes. That was our overreaction to Colorado reaching bowl eligibility by their 8th game. We're sponsored by SeatGeek. Use our code 3BoldTakes for $20 off your first purchase, and we'll see you in the next video.